Hi everybody, my name is Ben Smith. I'm with East Central Energy.
My name is Cassie Peterson. I'm the Communications Specialist at MLEC Energy.
We together have been in the electric distribution industry for quite some time now. I've been a lineman and now I'm the safety guy for East Central Energy. So what does that mean? Well, it's so I can talk to people like you and let them know the goods and bads about electricity. Who's used electricity today? Have any of you? You have?
I have.
What did you do?
I turned on the lights and I made a big cup of coffee today so I could stay awake.
Oh, wow. Well, I was awakened by my phone, which was plugged in right beside my bed this morning as my alarm clock. So, point being, we all use electricity every day. Whether it's making some toast in the morning using your microwave, maybe even some of you have an electric car at home or electric radio-controlled vehicle. So, our power companies are really old. Is yours old?
Probably over 80 years.
And I know we're over 80 years old. So power's been around a long time and it helps us every day with a lot of things that we do. Do you know that energy comes from a lot of different sources? It can come from wind, solar, fossil fuels, and a multitude of other angles. Electricity travels at 186,000 miles per second. That's really fast. It's faster than even me, and I'm pretty fast. But so the voltages on our system range anywhere from 2,000 volts on up to well over 230,000 volts. And of course, that is whether it's on transmission or distribution. So there's a lot of voltages out there. Our distribution lines are what all of you normally see alongside of your driveways, in your backyards, alongside of the roads that you drive down. And the lines may look similar to this right here. You can have three-phase lines which are three lines at the top of the pole, or it might be a single line. And then you also may recognize these little green boxes that you might see near your driveways, at the rear of your home, or on street corners. Believe it or not, those little green boxes have just as much power in them as what these lines do overhead. So it's very important for all of you to maintain a safe distance away from those and never play on those green boxes.
Today we're going to talk to you about some safety tips and tricks to make sure that you're safe around electricity. We're going to use this fancy display in a couple minutes to show you some real-life scenarios about what could happen if you get in trouble with electricity. So, just a few to start off with. If you ever see that a power line is down across a road, or if there was an accident, make sure to keep your distance. These are extremely dangerous, and to find an adult as soon as possible. If there ever is an outage in your area where you don't have power at your home, it's really important to call MLEC Energy or East Central Energy right away. We need to know where those outages are so our line crews can get out as quick as possible to get your power back on. We do have contact numbers where we are available 24 hours a day. So if you do end up without power, give us a call and we'll try to get it fixed for you as soon as possible.
Safety, safety, safety. The one thing that we have to keep in mind every day as power utility employees is our safety and your safety. Do you feel safe working on power lines?
No way. I am not qualified. I don't know what equipment is needed, and I would probably hurt myself if I tried.
Well, I have been trained, but I can tell you, I'm not ready right now to work on power lines. I don't have the right tools or equipment with me right now. We better go get what we need. Okay, now I'm ready. As you see, what changed with me? Well, I've got my hard hat on, my safety glasses. We have to protect our eyes and our head. And I've got these rubber gloves and sleeves on. Now, these are special gloves and sleeves. These aren't gloves that you can buy at any store. These are special to linemen and power company employees. These are tested every month to ensure that they can keep us safe. And this is the only way that we can work on power lines. In addition to our safety equipment, when we arrive at every job, we talk about the job. We talk about what hazards there are, the source of the energy, how we can maybe disconnect that energy, and how we can keep the scene safe. What does that mean? That means keeping people like you safe as we do our work out in the field.
So I'm going to share a few tips and tricks for you to stay safe in your home. So something really important to note is that electricity and water don't mix. It's really important to keep electronics away from bathtubs, sinks, or even if there's water on the floor. So it's important to not have radios, hair dryers, anything like that close to water, because water is a conductor of electricity, which means that the electricity could flow through the water and in turn hit you, which is not what we want. Another safety tip is if you're playing outside, make sure to stay away from the green box transformers. They are extremely dangerous, like Ben said previously. You've all seen them. The green box, and especially if they're open, make sure to stay far away. They will have signs on them that say, "Caution, do not touch." That means you need to obey the signs. Another really important tip is if you're climbing trees, to make sure that they're far away from power lines. If a tree is touching a power line, that electricity could flow down and again come to you, which is what we don't want. And another thing, if you have a balloon or a kite, make sure that those are away from power lines as well, because that could also in turn bring that shock down to you and really hurt you. If you're using any appliance or anything that has a cord, make sure that the cords aren't frayed, because that means that it has been compromised or it's kind of broken, and it could get really hot and start a fire, which you don't want either. So just make sure to keep all of these safety tips in mind as you go around your house, just to keep you safe.
Okay, those have all been great points, and a couple other things that we want to talk about: dangers of electricity. So where could we encounter those dangers? There's a number of dangers out there that could present themselves with regard to electricity. We never want to go inside of any fenced enclosure such as this. It says danger, high voltage inside. Never go inside of a fenced in enclosure, even if you throw a ball and the ball gets stuck in there or you lose anything inside of that. That could pose a lot of danger. How many of you out there like to climb trees? I personally love to climb trees. However, whenever I'm about to climb a tree, I always want to look up to make sure that there's no power lines that are near or going through that tree. Trees can conduct electricity just as well as anything else. We want to make sure that we never climb trees around power lines. Most of us are very fortunate to live in rural areas. Sometimes the equipment used in these rural areas that farmers or firefighters use can present hazards when they're working around our power lines. You always want to make sure you look up to determine if there's any power lines close or near you, and make sure you're staying away from those power lines, because not only can the equipment become energized, anything that's near it or on the ground can also become energized. So we want to make sure we're always looking up and making sure whether it's a ladder, a boom truck, a fire engine, or anything else that could reach the power lines doesn't come into contact with them.
Thank you for watching our safety presentation today. We hope you have a renewed sense of safety around power lines and other electrical equipment. My name is Cassie from MLEC Energy.
And I'm Ben with East Central Energy. Please use us as a resource if you ever have any questions, comments, or concerns about your electric distribution facilities. Thank you and have a good day. Yeah!